Good evening, everybody. What did they sing? What is the song? 3 is the magic number. That's what we have. Day 3. And I'm very, very excited for this lesson. This lesson really was just something that I could not see coming. I watched some videos by Bob when I first started studying him all by my lonesome. And there was this one drawing he did, and I was like, yeah, it's a drawing, and let's get back to listening to what you have to say. But little did I know that this drawing would be something I would draw thousands of times and would make such an impact on my life. It's even becomes part of the brand. It's so important to me and everybody in our academy. So good evening and welcome. I promised you on day 1 that we would teach you pretty much everything that we do to help our wonderful clients to get the results that they want to get and that they deserve to get, that they always have deserved to get. And this tonight is a really, really key part of what we're going to go and do tonight. So, but before we do, let's do something a little bit different. I'm going old school. I'm going back to the days of our original master classes. This is called the Vibration and Attraction Masterclass. So the theory is, and the facts are really, when you change your vibrational resonance. I spoke to an absolutely wonderful, beautiful lady, you know who you are, over in County Wexford today, and she's a very creative lady. And we've had a few calls, and I've never heard her so calm, so grounded. Her vibrational resonance on this planet is different. And lo and behold, she attracted one of the top 2 people in that county that she would have hoped to contact her, just contacted her out of the blue. I didn't do it for her. Bob Proctor didn't do it for her. The people that she's working with didn't do it for her in my team. She did it. She changed her vibration and attracted, just out of the blue, this lady contacted her and says, I want your products in my store. And it was just gorgeous, but it's an effect. And there's a law, like the law of gravity, and it's called the law of cause and effect. And the effects are that she's attracted this opportunity. But the causes are she changed her vibration. How? Well, there's 2 things we've talked to you about. One, you change your paradigm, you change your self-image, and she's vibrating in a completely different way. She's feeling different, acting different, thinking different, believing in different things, receiving different things. Okay, so I'm going to help each and every one of you on this call tonight to change your vibration right now. There's lots of things you could do. You can meditate, you can get off the laptop and just go out and take off the socks and shoes and stand on the grass and just do some earthing, some grounding. You can call up a friend that you just love and have such a good laugh with. You can change your vibration in lots of ways, but I think a very, very quick way that the human race changes vibration is through music. And you know what, everybody? I feel really, really good today. So I'm going to share that with you, and I want you to share it with me. Are you ready? I feel good. I knew that I would now. All right. We leave it at that. But if I play the whole song, there will be nobody left on the stream because I will be full on James Brown dancing around the office. But let's. I feel good. It's just great, isn't it? Music. I knew that I would. All right. Enough of that. But James Brown, I feel good. I did it just after finishing the dinner this evening, and the kids were like, "Oh my God, Dad!" But it's so good. Change your vibration. Attraction factor goes through the roof, and away we go from there. So that's a little extra. It's a throwback to our first master classes before we were uber professional as we are right now. I used to open with a song, and it's hilarious to look back and think about it. So that's for you guys, but it's also for the team. A little bit of a throwback to a year ago when we started doing these. And it was just, when we look back, it's cringy. There you go. Anyway, it gets you going, doesn't it? It gets you thinking. I spoke with a really nice man this morning in our academy, a gentleman called Matt, and I think I surprised him because he probably thought he was going to hire a motivational speaker or something like that. And everything is so customized. Like everybody who's on here, we got that lovely lady, Queen of, what is it? Your name is here. I just know your Facebook, your Instagram. There you are. Where are you? Queen of Nicola. So we have people like Nicola and Sandra, and our dear friend Sarah's here, and Aggie's here. Everybody, every one of you guys, Caroline, Marguerite, Amy, Dervila, you guys all have such a unique presence right now, but such a different background. You're programmed differently from when you were, you had all different moms and dads. You all had different postcodes. You all came from different backgrounds. You went to different schools. You're so blooming unique, right? And the way you are right now, the way you're thinking, acting, and feeling on a daily basis is within a present realization, a present paradigm, a present self-image. And if you look at the results, we'll be doing a diagram tonight that looks at the thoughts, feelings, actions, and the results. If you're just honest with yourself and you look at the results and you go, do you know what? I'm really proud of some of them, but there's others that I think are like avoiding me somehow, and I just want to figure out how to make it happen. Well, we talked to you on Monday and Tuesday about, like, forgive yourself, let it go. There's nothing you're doing wrong. It's just that no one's ever shown you how to change your self-image and get those results, change your paradigm and get those results. So yesterday was the second day where we talked about some of those anchors, some of those blockages, some of those things that hold us back. Now, something I'm really, really proud of that we do in the Academy is a bit different to kind of traditional coaching, where people might, work on what's going on right now, or even counseling or psychotherapy, where you talk a lot about what's going on right now or what's going on in the past. Something that works incredibly well, and it worked incredibly well for me. And by the way, I've been to counseling and psychotherapy, and I have not knocking those fields of expertise in any way, shape, or form. But something that transformed my life totally and allowed me to actually go back and attend sessions with these amazing experts in psychotherapy, in hypnotherapy, in psychology, in counseling. I was a more present and better attendee of these people, and I was better able to figure stuff out when I had learned about the power of the paradigm. In fact, one of my colleagues is an eminent practitioner of psychology, really highly regarded, and her work with Bob, she would say, has been like groundbreaking. It's helped her to help more people in a bigger way. So the paradigm is very misunderstood. Not a lot of people know about it, and I would say fair play to you all for being here, because you are getting a very good exposure to something that's easy, and it's so easy it's hard to believe that that's what causes the change in the lives of the people that I am so blessed to serve. Okay, so all these people I mentioned, you all have different backgrounds, and you're all in a different vibrational resonance. And when you change your vibration through lots of different means, with the most important being a proper body of work that you study like every single day, a new affirmation and a new goal that you have been helped to design, not based on your present paradigm, but based on your new goal, your new life that you want to live, and being held accountable on a daily basis to get there. The accountability is something that it's our main calling card. Like the knowledge is great, our awareness is great, our experience is great, but the level of accountability that we provide gives people every single opportunity to succeed and to show up for themselves. And if you buy a personal training ticket for a gym, you have to actually get yourself to the gym. We're on your phone, we're in your laptop, and we have a community that you just become part of. And that total immersion and that accountability is what kind of flies under the radar and helps people to all of a sudden wake up someday like a different person in a different world. So it's really, really exciting and really inspiring. And I think something you'll find from our speaker on Monday, Catherine, Shauna last night, later today, I'm welcoming one of my dear friends, Brian, a real cool guy and a very successful man, but him and I share a passion for this material. I love the conversations we have about this, and I'm excited for his way of explaining it to you guys as well. How you make something out of nothing, make thoughts into things. You'll see a confidence, a calmness, a joy. You'll see a group of people. You'll see other contributors throughout the rest of the week. And the common denominator that we all have, I'm actually really excited to be joined on Friday by Elena Dussel and Megan for a Q&A. You're going to see it in them, and you've probably spoken with them and any of our other success advisors as well. There's this confidence, there's a calmness, there's a niceness, a genuine, what's the word I want to use? Authenticity. Because when you start really uncovering who you really are, and you go in like those Russian dolls, like not the outside facade, but you go deep in and start bringing that inner real you to the surface, it's a very liberating way to be. And when you encounter somebody who studied this material over a period of time and changed their life, there's just something about them. And that's something I find I had about 8 one-to-one calls with clients today. I have another bunch tomorrow, and I can't wait. There's that joy, that confidence, that freedom, as our dear friend Amanda commented on Monday. She said it last Tuesday on a call. It's like, I finally know who the real me is. And that's just, that's, for me, it's mic drop. I'm done. My work here on this planet is done. If it can even help one person to feel that way, it's brilliant, but we've helped an awful lot. So look at where you're at right now, and kind of look back at Monday and Tuesday, and look back at the self-image and ask yourself, do I have a version of me that I kind of keep locked up inside? Are there parts of me that, June and I looked at this recently, our values as people who've been together 20 years. I turned 41, we're together 20 years now. We're married for 13 of those. We're into our 14th year though. Don't tell her. I got it right. 13 years into our 14th year, so I'm kind of right. Anyway, we started reassessing and looking at our values. We're reading the book about the love languages, and it's good to just start looking at new things you can do. And we don't want to just get into these old habits of like, okay, well, now we're married 20 years. We're like, refresh it. Let's have a little bit of let's have a little deep dive, see what we can do. And as we were going through that, we started looking at our values of when we met. I was 20, she was 21. And she was older than me then, and she's still older than me to this day. So we started looking at the values we each had then and the values we have now, and they've changed quite a lot. And how could you be in a joyous, beautiful, harmonious relationship like that first time when she swept me off my feet and carried me over the threshold? How could we be like that now when we're 40 and 41? We were 20 and 21. So you change, you see, and a lot of you and your life and your circumstances change, but you're dealing with a lot of the habits and beliefs that you've picked up decades ago, absolute decades ago. So you've got to smash and break open and just destroy all of these things that you think you are. This self-image, this invisible cage that you're walking around inside. And because it's not anybody else that's holding you back then, it's this invisible cage called the fake self-image. The people talk about an imposter syndrome, that if I step out and become the real me, that I feel like I'm an imposter. I think there's an imposter hanging around right now, actually. That's the truth. You're kind of living a lie, not every one of you, but some of you, and I think you know that, and it's resonating with you as I'm saying that, because there's things you want to do, but, oh, sure, I can't because I'm only Bridie or I'm only Sean, and you've all these things that you've built up about yourself that are holding you back, and they don't need to be there anymore. So the self-image is one of the first things that you need to look at, and the paradigm is the other. Now, one of the things that we use is called a stick figure, and we're going to be drawing it together tonight. We're going to be bringing you hopefully closer to it than you've ever been before, and help you to understand how thoughts can become things, how manifestation works, how changing your vibration and changing your actions can change your life, okay? And then tomorrow we're going to be doing a little bit further on that, and then on Friday we're going to be talking about perhaps one of those other anchors again. But everything's going to build in together, and you're going to really get a lot of clarity. And I think I remember this time, maybe 6 weeks ago when we did this, it was around Thursday, all of these like aha moments were just exploding for people, okay? So today we're going to bring you into the sciences. We're going to start bringing you into a lot more clarity as to how we do what we do and how we've done what we've done before. Okay, so what I want to do right now is I want to read something for you. And it's very personal to me. And yesterday I was walking around in Tralee and I was texting our marvelous team, and I was kind of talking about something very near and dear to me. And I was like, keep that private now, don't share it with people. And I decided to flip it all on its head because it's really important. It's private and very personal to me, but for the first time ever, I'm sharing it with everyone, 86 people here. So let's go. It's December 25th, 2018. And I am so happy and grateful now that I'm coaching at least 100 wonderfully happy clients in my consulting program. I begin every day with a rigorous disciplined fitness routine, during which I command my subconscious mind to bring my dreams into reality and best serve my clients, and also help them to bring their dreams to life. My days are long and slow and filled with precious moments where I frequently find myself feeling so grateful for all of the blessings in my life. Every day, I drop my very happy and healthy children to school, and then I return to our brand new home where June and I spend our time where I spend my time having consultations with new clients and also helping current clients and my team with their journey. I have many people working with me around the world as part of my team, and I also have members in other businesses. These people all share my love of the Thinking into Results program and my sincerity with my own goal, which is to positively impact the lives of clients and their families. I've built a great band of positive testimonials, and I have a large following on social media. My loving wife, June, and I have a very passionate and supportive relationship. We're happy to hire people into our home to do the time-consuming chores that previously prevented us from having quality time together and quality time with children. We do this comfortably knowing that there are people out there seeking this extra kind of income. We happily and graciously accept abundant wealth from multiple streams of income. June also works from home doing the job that she loves, and she gets to spend loads of time with the kids and has more time for herself and more time for me with every passing day. I'm grateful for never quitting on myself and for and my dreams, for knowing that I would find something that feels really true and worthy and allows me the opportunity to be completely financially independent. I now use my gift of life and my experience, my knowledge, and my passion for life to help people who are feeling stuck to go and seek a happier path. I'm earning 500,000 annual net income, and this new financial wealth is just magnifying the good people that June and I are to the world around us. I see this goal revealing itself more and more with every passing day, and I know that I must enjoy each ups and downs, and know that this is just part of growth. I'm grateful for everyone that has supported me to reach this place. And then I go on to something quite personal at the end that I'm going to leave out. But I wrote that in the 7th of January 2018, and that is my life now. I'm very grateful to say that I saw this happening bit by bit by bit over time. The previous goal I had before that was for the mortgage for the house, and it was out by 16 days. So that is something that we do. That is the result of 1 week to 2 weeks. I spoke with a wonderful gentleman today, and I've taken him off lesson 1 for a month because I want him to do a gratitude challenge, because this lovely guy needs that support. But 99.9% of people in the academy, when they start, they come up with a goal like that. Let me know what that sounded like to you. Let me know if it sounded nice, if it sounded like a good life. When I wrote that, that wasn't my life at all. We didn't have the home. June was driving an hour and a half every morning from Portmagee to Killarney to teach, and then she would drive home an hour and a half in the evening. We did not have time together. When I wrote about bringing people into our home to clean the home and provide other, to relieve myself and June from other chores that keep us from one another and keep us from time with the children, we're doing that now. But we couldn't afford like Sky, we had the dodgy box. We couldn't afford a nice car. We had a car that probably cost us a lot with maintenance, but still we had 1 car instead of 2 and different things like that. So when I wrote that none of that was a reality, and it is now. And I'm not here preaching something that I don't believe in. I live this all of the time, and that goal is a reality. And our good friends here that you got to know, all your success advisors, some of their goals are reality. Some of them, they're still waiting on them, but they're working on them over the last 6 months, 9 months. Some of them are coming up on a year with us now. But we've had people who've manifested their dream life within the first couple of weeks of joining the academy. We've had people manifest amazing things. I saw a lady we're very fond of called Jane advertising her programs today for art. And it just, when I'm going through Facebook and I see a client promoting their programs or their books or their material, it's just unbelievable. This here was an idea. This was a non-physical idea one day, and it's a book called No Nay Never No More by a dear friend of the academy called Noel. And I got to meet Noel and Bernadette recently. This is him as a young fella, and he still has that same smile. Okay, but that's his book. He brought that to reality, and I was so blessed to have received it in the post. Another gentleman got an idea, and he brought it to reality. His name is Chris. And this is the drawing we're going to be talking about tonight, the stick figure. But he made this for me and sent it to me. And his lovely wife, Aggie, is a very fond member of our team. We're all very fond of her. Many of you know Aggie. But this was an idea that became reality. All of my family drink this great water. It's called Kengan water. And it's a distributor for that company is a lady called Yvonne Donoghue. And I've had the pleasure of meeting all of her family. They came down to Valentia Island. And she got an idea that she wanted to improve the health of people in their homes throughout the country. And June and the kids, it's just for us to get up off the table now. We don't go to the tap. We go to the utility room to where the machine is set up, and all of our drinking water comes from there. It's just, it's brilliant. These are ideas. These are thoughts becoming things. Many of you know Yelena, very popular lady, Yelena Bogdanovich. This is her abundance journal. This was an idea, a thought that became a thing. Behind me here, Elaine McCabe in our academy makes these beautiful macrame pieces. I've got a little crystal charm hanging in my car, as does my wife. These ideas, these thoughts become things. My goal that I read out to you is a blend of personal and professional life. How many Ferraris did you hear me talking about? Okay, I did mention a very high money figure, but that's just a goal I wanted. I think people get put off sometimes with personal development because they think it's all about greed and wanting. But what we teach is thinking. How to think clearly. You might think you're thinking, but your mind is so busy. There's an awful lot of noise going on. And a lot of us, we get rid of the junk. We have a clear mind, and then we get to accept the thoughts we want and reject the thoughts that we don't want. And we therefore manifest what we want and don't manifest what we don't want. So can I please ask everybody here to type in out of 10, from a 1 out of 10. This is a vibration and attraction masterclass. So why don't you tell us how much would you rank yourself, 1 being very low to 10 being very high, when it comes to manifesting things, so attracting things, thinking about something and then you attract it. Are you a 1 out of 10, a 3 out of 10, a 7 out of 10, or a 10 out of 10? Let me know. Type it in the chat and we'll read it out. Now, the very next thing that I want you to do is I want you to get your workbook ready. And while you guys are answering in the comment section, I'm going to let us know who the prize winner was last night. So thanks to everybody who sent in your homework. I saw a comment, I think it was by Mary T. Come on, Limerick. And she said, my wife's a Limerick woman, by the way. So she said, the prizes are very generous. And thank you for your kind words. They are, and we're very happy to do that. I can't wait to see the pictures of people on the Cuchulainn ride and screaming their heads off, and seeing people, enjoying their prizes when they win them. So 2 nights ago we had 2 nights ago we had the homework, and last night I announced the prize, and it was Suzanne Mannix that won a prize for styling with Breda. And yesterday you guys put in your homework, and we have a winner, and I don't know who it is because Ernestine put something together, and I'm going to share it with you guys, and we're all going to find out who the winner is together. So let's see if I can go full screen here. And well, I can't do that. So hang on now. Okay, ready? Drum roll, please. Oh, hang on. How did that happen? Okay, let's see. Let's do it again. He's done that. Okay. Is this the case of the butterflies in the what is it, what's it, the fly in the ointment or the spanner in the works? So you're going to have to type it in the chat, Ernestine. I'm sorry, somehow that didn't come through correctly, or I didn't press the right one. I don't know, but the day 2 prize winner, it's not showing who won from what I can see there. So please let me know in the comment section. Okay, so what we're seeing here is I'm a 1 to a 2, as I'm surprised if it happens, and I wonder if it came because I wanted to, or would it have happened anyway. I'm a 7 out of 10, 4 out of 10, 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 6 out of 10. I'm a 5, I'm a 7, I'm a 5, I'm a 3. David says he's a 4. Somebody else says they are an 8. I must go into my phone so I can see all these names. Okay. Thank you for your kind words as well about what I said about for reading out my goal. Okay, change back there now, you devil. Alrighty. Barney says, okay, so yes, I see you here. All right, so it's not coming true for a second, but that's fine. We'll get there. Anyway, it was a little bit of a trick question, because do you know what? You're all 10 out of 10 at manifesting. This never stops. You're manifesting good and bad, what you don't and what you don't want. You're doing it subconsciously, just like you drive your car nowadays. So you are constantly, this energy never stops. This flow never stops coming to you and through you. You're manifesting. Maybe as we had one lady who said she wanted to manifest to be with Ryan Reynolds every night. I don't believe that has happened, but you got to go after things that you truly, truly want. And I don't know if that lady has spent every single waking minute thinking, feeling, and acting and taking actions on that. But I know it's a bit of an extreme example. But if it's something that you really want, like if you're now this age and you want to go off and become a pilot or whatever it wants to be, there's ways that you can make it happen. Whether it's privately or commercially, you can make it happen. There's so many things you can do, but it has to be from your wants and desires. And you might know what that is. And like that gentleman, that is the only time in my history of doing this where I stopped a guy doing the Thinking into Results program and got him off for a whole month to do a challenge, because he needs that so that he can really think in a different way and manifest. But there's so many other examples of things that we've adjusted. But the first week is you getting clear on your goal of what do you truly want and desire. But you're aimlessly manifesting all of the time. You're aimlessly bringing stuff in that is in the subconscious, good and bad. Okay, good and bad. So you're 10 out of 10, but we want to help you how to make it a 10 out of 10 for your wants, your goals, your dreams, and your passions. So it wasn't a kind of a trick question. All right, so let's get going. All right, so it was Michael Cross, was it? Was it Michael Cross? Somebody say congratulations. Who won? I don't know, but let's see who won. Somebody saying Michael. I think it's Michael Cross. Wow, I hope it's Michael that won the Tato Park. That's so funny. All right, let's get into it, everybody. Let's get into it. Let's get into this today. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to get you to look at your workbook. Yeah, so get you to look at your workbook. And today we're talking about the Genie in the Lamp. Now, at the top of the page, it says, write down your 3 wishes that you want more than anything in the world. Okay, so right now in my life, my singular focus in my professional life is everybody who is a member of the team that I have compiled over the last number of months and over the last year. I want every one of them to achieve their goals. Okay, I want, secondly, I want, and it's not by order 1, 2, or 3, but this is what I spend my days doing and thinking about. I want, number 2, everybody in the academy, all the clients, to be really, really happy, really content, fulfilled, and achieving their goals and going to the next level and going to the next level. And third is I just want to be really happy with my life in general. These are 3 wishes, but these are all I would call A and B type goals, really. The C type goals, the really chunky ones, the big, big goals. I'm not going to tell you what 1, 2, and 3 are for me, because I don't really share my goals with anybody. I keep it very personal and very big and private, and I keep it to myself. But there's 3 big wishes, and I have no clue how I'm going to get them. But I do know that I am going to get them because of this diagram that we're going to work on today. So it says here, what if I told you that it's not limited to 3 wishes alone? The genie in the lamp, or any of these things that you'd see, they say, I'm going to grant you 3 wishes. Well, this drawing will grant you all the wishes that you want for the rest of your life if you use it correctly. And I mean use it correctly. If I was to take up hurling with our wonderful group in Wexford, Huey and John and Marguerite and Elaine and everybody else over there, anybody, I'm from Southwest Kerry. We don't play a lot of hurling down here, but I'm not too bad. I can find my way around it, around the bat, the hurling bat. I'm joking, but I know what to do with it. But playing professionally or competitively, I should say, would be a whole different thing. But I could do it because I would think about it, I would feel into it, and I would take actions, and I would get there. I'd be maybe a junior C, but I could do it. There's a lot of things that I could do if I put my mind to it and if I learned it, and there's things you could as well. But you've got to want it. Now, the genie in the lamp can get you into situations you want to get into and get you out of situations you want to get out to. And there's a phrase I want you to write down that's not here right now, okay? I want you to write down, how do you want it to be? Or you could even write down, how do I want it to be? How do I want it to be? When you start thinking about that, your brain and your subconscious mind start working to find the solution. You have got, this morning, a friend visited, and I put flour and butter and baking powder and a little bit of salt and caster sugar into a bowl with some cream, and we made scones. And we made lovely scones with homemade blackberry jam, okay? Well, when I put all those ingredients in, and I took them out and I made the molds and I put the egg wash on the top and put them in the oven at 220 degrees for 20 minutes, I wasn't expecting chocolate cake to come out of the oven. I wasn't expecting a flan to come out of the oven. It was going to be scones, because that's what I put in and that's what I turned the oven on, and that's what I expected. If you're putting negative thoughts into your subconscious mind, you can't expect positive outcomes. If you're putting a mixture of positive and negative, ups and downs, worries and doubts and fears into your subconscious, you can't expect beautiful, blissful, happy moments to come into your life. It is as sure as night follows day. It is absolutely working all of the time, and it's working for you. But we have been conditioned to honor the conscious mind, which is, look at this. Here, listen. Taste that. Can you feel it? Hear, see, smell, taste, and touch. We've been conditioned to live to the reactionary, very basic, if you're gifted with all of your senses, hear, see, smell, taste, and touch. We've been asked to honor that. And we've been asked and conditioned to kind of enslave and leave behind our God-given gift to manifest and create thoughts into things. I've shown you examples here in my office of people I know and love who have created things out of thoughts, okay? So Monday and Tuesday, you are there and there's stuff inside that wants to come out, and you now know you need to change your self-image to bring it out. You need to change your paradigm to bring it out. And here is the greatest tool that makes it happen: the pen and paper, writing your thoughts and dreams and embedding them in your beautiful, fertile subconscious mind. Okay, so let's share my screen today. Somebody said the sad face was a mistake, it meant to be our heart. The angry ones are the ones that still get me. I'm like, did I say something wrong? Because, but it's often a typo. So Nadia, congratulations, you're heading for Tato Park. You have to do a picture on the roller coaster, but you can't do it on the roller coaster, because if the phone fell, it could really injure somebody. So just do a picture, somebody else take a picture of you, and please send it to us. Congratulations, it's really good. I'm delighted, and let us know who you're going to be bringing as well. Type it in the chat, and look what you manifested. All right, so I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to do some drawing. I think I saw Mr. Dusan commenting there in the chat, getting you guys to make sure and get your pens and paper ready, and because we're going to be doing, well, you have the paper there, but it might be no harm actually. It might be no harm also to maybe get an extra sheet of paper so that you're, there we go. Let me see, am I doing it now? Nadia says, my kids are so happy. The best thing that has happened to us all week. Well, that's fantastic. I'm delighted you have kids, and I'm delighted for you guys. Let me know. Yeah, why don't you, if you don't mind, send me a video of their reactions or something. I'd love to find out who's going. And yeah, you deserve it. Well done. Well done. Delighted for you guys. All right, so let's have a little look at this. This was actually drawn by Picasso, but I bought it, and you can see it. Look at the contours, look at the colors. Amazing. So good. All right, so that is the stick figure person. All right, and we're going to ask you to, let's see. I want you to get the head to represent the mind. This circle up here, let that represent the mind, and let this represent the body. Now, this here is our conscious mind. And in our conscious mind, it's like our thinking mind. Okay, so we pick up things here, thoughts, pardon me, what we hear, what we see, what we hear, what we see, what we smell, what we taste, and what we touch. See all those up there? They're like, as Bob would call them, antennae sticking out the top of your head. And they're just picking up things like butterflies pulling, butterfly nets taking butterflies out of the sky. They're just like, you're walking through an airport, and it's like, there's what's her name from South Africa, and she's selling you Christian Dior, and then Rihanna's over there selling you some Calvin Klein or something. The smells are there, and they're spraying that stuff in the air, and the colors and the lighting and the noise, and they meander you through the airport like left and right, so that you're these walking shopping zombies, and you're just being faced right into the products, So the world is vying for our attention all of the time. Hear, see, smell, taste, touch. Come look at it, feel it, put it on, look at it in the mirror. What do you think? Consumerism plays heavily into the conscious mind. My wife, as I said, is a teacher. My children go to school. Education is absolutely, it's a birthright. It's fantastic. But a lot of what we are conditioned to do is hear, see, smell, taste, touch, read, listen, regurgitate, and get the exam. And if you do it very, very well, you'll get a good grade. And if you do it very, very well, you'll get to a good college. And then in that college, if you do very, very well, you'll be able to get a better salary. So it's like, honor the conscious mind. That's throughout the world, pretty much throughout the world. I think there would be other cultures that may honor the subconscious mind an awful lot more. But, we grow up here in Ireland, or most of us are. In the Western world, you could be in the UK, or you could be in Canada or America watching this, France, Germany, a lot of the Western kind of first world countries or whatever. It's honor the conscious mind. Even Einstein said we've created a society which enslaves the sacred gift. We have a sacred gift, which is the subconscious mind. And we've been really taught to just don't use it, One of the greatest miracle entities in the world is the imagination. And the imagination is like part of our subconscious mind. And what do we say to kids? You're away in your imagination. Don't be imagining it now. Imagination is where all of these books and inventions and my life has come from. This company, this masterclass, this was the idea of one person once upon a time, and now it's a reality. So we've got the conscious and the subconscious mind. If you want to change your paradigm, you've got to take this top half away, okay? And you got to kind of put it in the drawer for a couple of days. And you got to feel into your subconscious mind. What do I want? What could life be like if this happened? If I was there, wouldn't it be nice if this was it? And you go into the fantasy. And then the fantasy starts to become a theory. Have you ever been in a brainstorming session where you're just given a task to come up with something? It could be a team building exercise or something. And next thing you get very creative and you're told there's a timer. So you start fantasizing, oh, we could do this. Oh, we could do that. And now the fantasy becomes a theory. And then you start doing it and the theory becomes a fact. And that is manifestation 101. But it starts with the creative part of the human condition, which is the imagination, thinking about what you want. In a team building exercise that's maybe timed from 9 to 5, you're under time pressure. If a community learns that there's a beautiful little child or something that's got an illness that can only be taken care of with 100,000 and they need it by 2 weeks' time, that community will get very creative. They've immediately taken into their subconscious mind something that they truly want, and they want it more than their limiting beliefs. They want it dearly. They want that child's health. They want that family. They know the family would do it for them if they were in their shoes. We become immediately emotionally involved in an outcome that if I just said it to you casually, Gene, the community come up with 100,000. Oh, no, not a hope. This place, you're off your head by, no chance. But the minute it's for a child that needs help, we get so creative. And you know, everybody on this call knows it'll be gone to 200,000 before the deadline. So when you want something more than your limiting beliefs, I nearly swore because I get very angry about this. I'm not angry, I get fired up about this. This is so easy and it's so misunderstood and it's so important. The subconscious mind is a sacred gift. You were given it. If you got the gift of hear, see, smell, taste, and touch, they were gifts you were given. And you still have them, and you should be grateful for them because there's lots of people who don't have a sense of taste, a sense of smell. They can't feel, they can't see, and they can't hear. Some people, you know. So be grateful for your senses if you have them. But what everybody has, and nobody, I think, can ever take that away from you. Even if you're incarcerated in prison and you're in solitary confinement, you can imagine and you can dream and you can visualize it. And it's very hard. Nobody can take that away from you. There's a great story by a gentleman called Viktor Frankl, and it's a true story. And it's from his time in the concentration camps in Dachau. It's called A Man's Search for Meaning. And in that book, he talked about they took away his wedding ring, they took away his children and his wife. He never saw them again. They couldn't break his spirit. They couldn't break his soul. And he used his sacred gift of his subconscious mind to go on and really make a massive impact on this world, as did other people from that horrible, horrific time in history. But let's get into a little bit more positive thinking here, shall we? You have a dream, and I know you do. And there is something you really want to do. And there's a word that holds you back, and it's how. Because you've been conditioned that you need to know the how, and you don't. Because you're not the creator. I believe in one creator. I believe in God. I like to say universe as well. But he's the creator. If you're an atheist and you don't believe, that's all right too. Something is out there. There's something working. That's what I like to believe. And I'm the designer. Laura that works with me, she's a designer. Ernestine's a designer. Claudia is a designer. Trevor Coulter here, he's a designer. Everybody I spoke to, they're designing a life that's different to the one they want. And they're doing it with pen and paper, writing down their goals and their dreams, their wishes and their wants. And what they're doing is, especially with the accountability that we provide, these guys are giving themselves more opportunity to keep these ideas in the subconscious. So when I had lunch with Shauna Cashel nearly 2 years ago, she had this idea in her mind a lot of the time, but not to the extent that it was going to be, because she was part of effectively like a university now that gets people to think about their goal more than their difficulties in their relationship, more than their waistline that they're not happy with, more than their memories of their past, more than their doubts about the future. Our accountability and what you're feeling from us this week, this is what we do all the time. We get you locked into your new life, your new dream. And just like those people in the community, when it becomes a passion and a want, and they really, really want it, I know that they're so much further along the way for manifesting that than they do. Last month, we had a gentleman joining us, and he said, when you get started on this, you just need to believe in Declan's belief in you. And if I don't believe in you, pardon me, if I don't believe in your goal, if you send it to me, I'll get you to go do it again. Because if you haven't sold it to me, I know you haven't sold it to yourself. People send me beautiful scripts with loads of lovely words, but I don't believe it. And I ring them up and we have a chat about it. And they go, yeah, I just kind of put down something I thought you'd want me to say. And we go back and we tear it up and we start over. Because it is your birthright. It's your God-given right to go after something you truly want. We're going to hear from a wonderful man in a moment called Brian. And through moments of inspiration and desperation, he uses the sciences behind this. He just thinks, do I want it? Yes or no? If he does, then he says, okay, I'm going to go after it. You know, living with me or living with Brian would be quite similar. If somebody has an idea and I accept it and I go, yeah, let's do it. I don't go into the logistics. How, when, who, where, why, how am I going to get the money for that? It's got nothing to do with me. I design it and I get help from above on how to create it. And that's where every idea came from. If you're not driving, just stop and close your eyes for a second, okay? So I want you to picture a green elephant, okay? There's a green elephant and it's standing outside a white house and it's standing on a blue lawn, but it's not standing, it's actually jumping up and down on a pogo stick and it's wearing a very funny yellow hat with one of those helicopter things on top. Okay, do you picture that? It's ridiculous, isn't it? So we think in pictures and it comes to pass. We're image makers. And you are not working from a proper image like the goal I read out to you. That was a scared, afraid, broke, but wishful and hopeful Declan O'Donoghue who wrote that goal years ago. And that's the life that man gave to me right now. And there's somebody a year or 2 years from now, and they're sitting there screaming back, just saying, come on, now is our time. There's a goal that you've got to bring to reality. And it hasn't landed on anyone else's mind, only yours. It's yours if you want to grab it and take it. It's yours to bring to reality. So let's show you the process by which this happens, okay? So the conscious mind is the thinking mind. And in the thinking mind, it's like the bouncers there outside Reardon's or Sir Henry's or what's those places up in Dublin? I don't know. The Kerry fellow wasn't out in Dublin that much. The one where they say all the guards and the nurses go to. You know the one. There's a lots of places in Dublin. I don't know the names of the nightclubs up there, right? But anyway, you have the ability to accept or reject. The bouncers outside, the doormen or the door people outside these facilities now, they say, sorry, pal, not tonight. You have to learn how to accept the ones you want and say, yeah, cool. I want that in my subconscious mind. I want to manifest that. So the idea is out here. It comes in through your hear, see, smell, taste, touch. You might be watching somebody advertising a brand new Tesla SUV. It's 100 and something thousand. Oh my God, I want one of them. So the idea is there and you want it. You take straight into the conscious and subconscious. I want that and I want that now. Now, all you got to do is hold the image. I want that. You keep thinking about it and the way will be shown. You got to be patient. You got to not quit, like a lot of people who watch 2 personal development videos and buy one book. I tried that. It doesn't work at all. Well, you didn't try breathing and then stop. You kept breathing all your life. You're thinking all of the time. You need to readjust and redirect the flow of energy that goes to you and through you from the conscious. And you need to learn. I've shown you how to take in the green, which is like the green light. And then there's another negative idea out here. And when that comes in, and it's vying for attention and it wants to get into the subconscious so it can be manifest, that's where you say, get the hell out of here. Because you have the ability to accept or reject from the conscious mind. Now, once it starts to go down here into the subconscious has got no ability to accept or reject. It accepts everything. And what starts to happen then is the idea that's been taken in here must end up in the physical body. Okay? And the physical body reacts in 2 ways. You start to take certain action steps, and you start to go off and do things in a certain way. But you also start to kind of invisibly vibrate in a different way, and you attract things in a different way. So there is the thoughts up here, the thinking mind. The thoughts you think are responsible for the results that you have right now. Not all of them, but the majority of the repetitive habits are based on your thinking. Then they lead to feelings, and the feelings will dictate the actions that you take. And that action, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So you take the action through the body, and then you get a reaction, and that reaction is convenient because it starts with the letter R, and that reaction also becomes a result. So that's why we think into the result that we want. That's why Shauna and the beautiful Susan you're going to meet tomorrow night, and a very handsome devil called Brian who's going to be here in a moment, and Catherine who is here, everybody, all of our clients, everybody is working towards a new result. And they know that the results they want must be thinking thoughts that are in harmony with that result, feelings that are in harmony with that result, and taking actions that are in harmony with that result. They cannot expect to have doubtful thoughts, doubtful feelings, and take little or no actions. So doubtful thoughts, doubtful feelings, and little or no actions is not going to get them the result they want. Okay, so this secret genie, this genie in the lamp that only gives you 3 wishes, you've got a secret genie called your subconscious mind that is giving you what you want every single day, all of the time. And we're leaving it like, you know, you might have a football team and they got the best player sitting on the bench. That's what a lot of us are doing. That's what, I shouldn't say a lot of us, because I don't think it's us, but a lot of the majority of the masses out there, 99.9% of people in the world, they're not working on a goal. They did a goal setting thing once there at work. The manager got a fella in there and we talked about goals. And they're just doing idle busyness. You know, they're getting up, putting on the clothes and getting at it. And then they will question, how are other people so lucky? How do these guys make these big changes in their life? And you talk about personal development, hired a coach, started working every day on it. Or I don't believe in all that, you know. I think I'm going to stick with the goals that I don't really like. You know, you gotta really stop asking people who are not getting the results that you want, how can you get the results that you want? You got to start asking people. Like, I have an expert that helps us with marketing. I have an expert that helps us with accounting. We have an expert financial advisor. We've expert people working in our sales department, in our admin department, experts. They're doing things I cannot do and I don't want to do. I'm doing things that I want to do. And I'm an expert at it. And you should not ask a solicitor for plumbing advice unless you are aware that they're a former plumber. You gotta really find out people who can help you to put stuff that you want on a permanent basis into your subconscious mind. The gentleman that I redirected today, he set me a goal. And after consulting with him, because my company is called Declan O'Donoghue Consulting, I know he doesn't know his goal yet. So I'm not going to waste this man's time or money getting him to say, well done, great goal, off you go, lesson 2, because he is not going to manifest the results he wants, because after a quick chat, we start to realize, you know what, Declan, I don't know what I want yet. He's very lucky, he's very successful, he's got people who love him all around him, and he's happy. But there's something there. And you have limiting beliefs, you have doubts and fears, and they're not nowhere. They are residing here all of the time. So let's say, for example, let's go into a bit of GAA rivalry, right? So let's say these are the Dubs here, right? And the Dubs are there, and all of a sudden they hold Sam Maguire, and in comes a load of Kerry fellas, and they're like, "How's it going, lads? We're just here to pick up Sam Maguire." Do you think they're going to be saying, "Yeah, no problem, take it away there, off you go"? I think they're going to put up a bit of resistance, don't you? If I was to say I planned this example, I would be lying. I did not plan this example. But just the subconscious, there's ideas that are locked in there. And it has been, you know, Tyrone now have the All-Ireland, but for a long, long time, for 6 or 7 years, Dublin have had that. And an idea, every year a team came in with an idea and they're like, not a chance, get out of here. This is ours. Your paradigm is the same. The paradigm is like, well, we are happy eating more calories than we're burning off every day. I've been in this body now for 30 years, and they like eating chocolate before bed when everyone else has gone to bed. And I know they say that they want to get new waistline, but they don't. And I'm the boss, and that's it. And then that person goes, right, I'm sick of it. I want a new waistline. And somewhere up here, they're like, new waistline. I want a new waistline. That's it. She's after losing loads of weight, the bitch. I want to lose weight too. And I'm sick of it now. And then they get this idea. And then, right, I'm doing it. That's it. I listen to this Declan Donoghue fella. I believe I can achieve. And next thing it's like, psst, hey, how's it going? Yeah, you know those ideas you have? Not happening. You're always going to be overweight. You're never going to lose weight. You're never going to find that fella. You're never going to double your income, because this old paradigm doesn't want to give up without a fight. Not because it's evil or bad, it just is. It is one function: keep you safe, keep you where you have told that you want to be. Nobody else has programmed the paradigm. Maybe your parents, maybe school, maybe the media, but you did it through ignorance as well. You didn't know how to change your paradigm until this week, potentially. We've got people in the academy who've heard me talk about this many times, and they've never heard this example. You can never get to the bottom of how much you need to understand that you have a set of ideas that are locked up in here that are not serving you, because they are manifesting to and through the body, and they are coming to you and you don't like them, and you're flipping blaming yourself, and you're being hard on yourself for results that you want and you're not getting. And it's not your fault. You got to let that shit go. Pardon my language. I told you I get a bit fired up about this. And you've got to smother those old ideas with new ideas. And they won't be long taking over. And this becomes your new result and your new sense of achievement. Okay? Now, I will never go back to the results that I had when I wrote down my first C-type goal. I love that man who started, but he was scared. He was hopeful and wishful. He'd seen enough testimonials and proof that it can possibly happen, but I'm different. But I had no other chance. I was in a place of desperation. It had to happen, right? I would not allow any of the old, you're never going to get there. Any of those ideas, I'd say, get the hell out of here. I've invested in this. I invested money we don't have in this. This is going to work, and that is it. And then when I got one result, I became more fearless the next time I programmed my subconscious. And now I became more fearless for the next time I programmed my subconscious. And then when I got a new goal and I turned it into a 6-figure a month business, I got new confidence. And then I got new confidence. And you know what? There is no room anymore for any of the bull, any of the doubt, any of the fear, any of the worry. It can't get in there anymore. But your subconscious mind is not full of what you want. It is a mixture of fleeting little dreams, little things that just pop through your mind from time to time, but you're so busy and you're so distracted that it just becomes a hope, a wish, a want, to pray, and then somebody else does it and you go, I was going to do that a few years ago. But this can happen all of the time. And we have a great friend of ours in the academy, Patrick Cullinan, and I love hearing people regurgitating some of this material. And he was on an interview one night, and he said a quote that really grabbed him one time was that it takes no greater effort and energy to aim low and aim for things that you don't really want than it does to aim for what you truly want. And you know what? It's actually burning more energy living in a life that you don't want, living the results that you don't want. When that stress and that doubt and that fear goes away, you're going to be living with 100% of your energy, but you're burning 200% just to try and find happiness that is right inside of you right now. Okay? So with the Genie in the Lamp, I want you to draw along what we've been doing tonight in that page. And it says here for the day 3 homework, and there's a camera symbol. So we want you again to take a picture. You've seen the prizes. There's the consultation with Rita the first night. Last night was Tato Park. The prize for today's lesson, please guys type it in the chat. I'm drawing a blank here. I got all passionate about the lesson and I forgot myself. So please let us know the prize again. I'm so sorry I forgot it. I'm only human, as they say. So I want you to know that any idea that is held in your mind, that is emphasized, that is feared or revered, will begin to clothe itself at once. The second Shauna made a decision to invest in herself and to make Style Search the #1 fashion search engine in the world, it started to come her way straight away. I want you to draw the stick figure person tonight on this page, and I want you to take a picture with it and send it to us, and the prize will be selected tomorrow, and I'll call out the prize winner tomorrow night. And I want you to think about the thoughts. I want you not just to draw it and take the picture. I want you to study this drawing, and I want you to look back over Wednesday, the 6th of October, and I want you to think about how many good and bad thoughts just fell into that beautiful, sacred fertile garden of the subconscious mind, just like willy-nilly. You're so amazing. God, you're crap. You're always late for things. You're never going to get there. Oh my God, you're such a great son. You're such a great wife. Think about all the little ideas that just drip, drip, drip into the subconscious all of the time. And start to study this diagram. You can't have studied it enough, but start today if you've never seen it before. Conscious mind is a faithful servant, and the subconscious is a sacred gift. Please stop mixing those up and stop living because of what your conscious mind tells you and putting the subconscious mind in a trunk in the attic getting full of dust. We use this all the time in the academy. We're going to bring on a gentleman now in a moment who's living the most extraordinary life, and his beautiful daughter is as well, because she's listened to her dad and really studied this information. And they've changed a lot of lives around the world as well with this drawing, and you can too. So I'll see you tomorrow for day 4, which is called Absolute Freedom. And there is something that we need to really understand to live a life of freedom. Not everybody wants all of that big riches, but my God, the freedom of thought is so beautiful, and it's a birthright of all of us. So I'm going to talk to you more about that tomorrow night. Thanks for being here. Thanks for all your comments. Sit back and relax, and you are in for a treat right now. We are bringing, there he is. I couldn't see you all along, and I'm kind of glad because I'd have been all like smiley. So I was really getting into my teaching there, Brian, as you could see. So I met this gentleman in my first trip to Toronto, and we hit it off pretty quickly. A, because we both like to have a little beer, and B, because I think we're very, very similar. We like a laugh. We're down to earth. We've been through some rough times, and God sent this information our way. And then we started working with it. We started getting results, and all we wanted to do was help our fellow man. And I think we were like magnets drawn to one another. I'm trying to claim him as Irish. I think there's some Irish blood. I'm just trying to claim him. Absolutely. Bring him home. Go out there, lynch another one, bring them back to our country. But yeah, Brian's going to come on. And the reason I asked Brian to do it, I've been thinking about asking him for a long time. And he's a very busy guy. Brian works with people from Shark Tank in the United States. He's recently been featured. I can't wait to watch it actually on a show that features household names like Brian, people like Grant Cardone and Gary Vaynerchuk and all these wonderful people. He's been interviewed recently, and rightfully so. He's one of the most prestigious people in the business of personal development. I'm honored to call him a friend. And yeah, let's bring him on. And you're really going to love it. You've had a great time with Catherine and with Shauna, and you're in for a treat now. It's a bit of a boys' club tonight. So let's bring him on without further ado. Brian Dalmasso, how are you, sir?
Hey, what's up, handsome? Good to see you, man. It's been a minute with this crazy pandemic, huh?
What is it? I never heard of the thing.
Yeah, same. I don't put any energy towards it. You know. The funny thing is, I've been traveling all along. I was in Brazil for a month. I've been all over the States. I never stopped doing anything. I found out I've had dinner with people that had COVID, but you can't attract who you're not in harmony with, right? And that's not just a cute phrase. It's against physics. You just vibrationally cannot attract what you're not in harmony with. So I don't know what these people are speaking of. I just know that I can't fly to Ireland.
Yeah, well, we'll, you go private and we'll figure it all out. Okay.
There you go.
Well, Brian, what has been happening, man? I am just seeing some amazing things happening, and we'll get to that in a moment, okay? But I want to go back to the start, because I think in my introduction I was pretty accurate. You kind of you come from an engineering background, science, physics. That's what I love about our conversations. I think I have there's a lot of heart and spirituality and emotion in mine. I love how you talk about the finite particles of the world and how we bring them all together and create things. And I really love our conversations, and they can go from the madcap hilarity to really deep, profound type thinking and talking. And it's an honor to call you a friend, and we've had some great conversations. But did you, like me, kind of stumble upon this information? Just bring me back to where you first started.
Yeah, no, that's a really good one. I know exactly what it was. So, I was in my early 40s, and, I had been an engineer for about 15 years, switched gears into architecture, construction. I had superior traditional education, but what I would call inferior results. And what I mean by that, I had a construction company, and we were doing about $1 million a year. Now, you only take about 10% of that at home. There's only about a 10% profit margin. So, 40 years old with my education, my background, $100K a year, to me, that I call that American broke, right?
Okay, wow.
You know what I mean? Because it's like you see people succeeding, 100,000 a month, millions a month. I mean, and far beyond that. It's like, so what's the difference, right?
Yeah.
So I was in my early 40s, and a friend of mine had introduced me to an energy-based network marketing company. So it wasn't like pills and potions and lotions; it was utility bills and commercial energy. And I was like, okay, so now you're taking this highly leveraged model, but you're applying it to something I relate to.
Okay.
So I dove into that. That guy gave me the book Think and Grow Rich. I actually put into action everything in the book. I
Yeah.
later found on I found out later through Bob that that's very rare. People read it, millions of people read it, but they don't. But I think for me, it was just, call it a midlife crisis, call it whatever you want. Enough was enough. I just wanted things to change. So I made a goal of getting to seven figures in this business. And because of that, I was following my mentor who was crushing about 150K a month. And he said, listen, you have to go to this event in Vegas. It's called the GoPro Mastery. It's 3 days. The best of the best of the best in the world go to this thing. Well, Tony Robbins was there. Richard Branson was there. And guess who else was there? Mr. Bob Proctor. And the rest is history, right? When I saw Bob, for me, took the whole weekend. Now,
Yeah.
some of these people are far more well known than
Yeah.
Bob and far more wealthy too. But Bob brought out the stick man, the mind map. Now, I saw you drawing that earlier, and the people watching probably don't understand how fundamental that is to
Yeah.
life. Not just income, but life, right? Health, wealth, happiness, love, understanding, conscious, subconscious body. So when my engineering brain saw that, I was like, holy cow, that's the deal, right? We're born a blank slate. We have no programs. We're programmed by our environment, parents, school, right? Blah, blah, blah. It goes right into the subconscious. And
Yeah.
then most people go right to the grave, never knowing anything about anything and
Mm.
never really going after their goals. But then there's other very select few people like the Warren Buffetts and the Steve Jobs, the
Yeah.
unconscious competence out there. They process information differently. They have different belief systems.
Yeah.
They have the same equipment we have.
Mm.
That to me was like a holy grail of a moment. Right there in the audience, I said, I don't know who this guy is, but I am going to be teaching this stuff all over the world with him.
Yeah.
And that was back 2015. I said something like by 2018. Well, that year, I went up to Toronto, met Bob. The rest is history. Started working with him, and I counted yesterday because we did this in our group with 21 revenue streams and growing.
21.
Yeah, companies
I
and their revenue streams. Yeah,
I don't believe it was in the double digits when I met you, Brian. I think
it
I
wasn't.
think
It wasn't.
no, you talked about 6 or 7 when I met you in the 2017, 2018. So
Yep.
congratulations. I'm not surprised for a minute. I wouldn't even bat an eyelid. One of the things I think about is my Bayliner boat, and I know you bought one last year. I think it was maybe
Yes.
the year before.
Yes. Yep.
So that's on the way next summer. We'll wait. We won't be buying that in an Irish winter. I can guarantee you, sir. It is phenomenal though, but that's what I loved about it. And I got into this with desperation. Like I had minus 35,000, and I had to borrow money to start. And I remember sitting across from you in the Markham in Toronto, and I was a little bit of a mess. If you remember when I first started into this business, I'd really thrown everything to work with Bob, but I actually got an award a year later. Then we kind of went into this level you were at, you handsome devil, and. I was sitting next to Brian almost everywhere except at the top table. I was like, I have to get in there, because we sat next to each other late into the night. So I was like, I can't be sitting down the back. I got to be up the front. And when I got the award, I said to Bob, Bob, I started watching you years ago, and I said to my wife, and this is a true story. I took the microphone and I said, Bob, I told my wife, if this man is still alive, that I'm going to work with him someday, and he's going to put one of those pins in me. The whole audience went, oh, he didn't say that, did he? Because that's a bit of a taboo. Everyone's like, Bob's like, well, they're all trying to kill me, but they're not dead yet. And put the thing on my lapel. And it's just like that. It's just like you said, I'm going to work with that man. But anyway, besides the point, I have another funny one to tell you. I thought about it today. I was making dinner for the kids and Junie. And I was here, and this was a Foundations, this house. And at the time, I was there with some friends, and they were visiting, and they were a little bit out of harmony with the changes that were happening in our life. And that's okay. But, a couple of drinks on board and people start to change a little bit. And I had an argument with somebody here on the Foundations, and I had been talking and I mentioned your name. And somebody said to me, if I hear that name, effing Brian Del Masso, one more time, because I had just been mentioning, I was basically saying, look, I'm going to be a millionaire, and that's it. Yeah. And this is the first time that you've been in my home effectively. You're here on the screen in this office, and it's a reality now. But in the last year, we did turn over $1 million in business, and it's so funny that they're not doubting me now, and I didn't do it to stop the doubters, but
No, not
people
at all.
people are watching this, you see, and they're surrounded by an environment, and they're surrounded by people who absolutely love them, and for them, they wouldn't even step out of the room for a second and say, you got to come and listen to this stuff, because they know they'll snigger and laugh and kind of put them down a little bit. You've surely encountered people like that. You probably still do every day, correct?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So what would you say to somebody who's in an environment, we're programmed genetically, we're programmed environmentally, people are still locked in, they're working in industries where, how can I go from here to doing something like Declan and Brian? How can I go from here to doing something like Shauna or Catherine Farquharson this year Monday? She went from photographer to running her own business. Shauna from primary school teacher to running a global. Do you know Skyscanner, Brian? The girl who spoke. Yeah. The girl who spoke with us last night, she's a graduate of our academy, and she has like the Skyscanner of fashion. So picks your outfits, your colors, your shape, your sizes. It's really state of the art. It's going to be a massive business. But this lady's gone from primary school teacher to that. Our environment in the staff room and all the faculty probably wouldn't have believed it's possible. Catherine, all the photographers probably wouldn't have believed it's possible. Maybe. You might have had doubters when you started. I certainly did. What would you say to our guests here this week who have a dream but are afraid to step out and do it because of their environment?
No, that's a really good question. We get that all the time. So the first thing that I think is helpful for people is to realize who and what we are and who and what the people around us are, especially our loved ones and our families and friends, right? And what I want to say to you, and you said this a little bit, but I really want this to sink in, it's not their fault.
Yeah.
It's not their fault if they have negative comments, if they don't believe you. They're probably trying to protect you from what they think is, could be harmful or not go your way. Now, you just have to look at their results to see if you want to pay attention to that person or not. Like, I don't take advice from millionaires because my goal is 21 billion in net worth and assets by age 60. I only take financial advice from billionaires.
Nice.
I don't take financial advice from Bob. He's not a billionaire. I take mindset advice from him because he's arguably the best in the world. So, but the first thing for everybody to do is just let that ton of bricks, forgive and forget, and don't blame these people around you. It's not their fault. You wouldn't blame a 3-month-old baby for spitting up. It's not aware. It doesn't know.
Yeah.
So, and I think once people can do that, two things, forgive and forget that, and then also, like I said, pay attention to the awareness level. You only want to take advice from people that have the results that you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's the biggest thing. And the other thing is the people around you that are maybe saying these comments or trying to be protective, they're probably getting the results of the masses. So if we want results that are different than the masses, which everybody here does, nobody has a goal of being impoverished. Nobody has a goal of being diseased.
Yeah.
Like, everybody in some way, shape, or form wants to live that heavenly life of the 1%. And I don't mean 1% better. I just mean more aware.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, almost everything we're going to do is going to seem weird or crazy to everyone around you, just by default, right? I look at this very black and white.
Yeah.
If I want results different than everybody else, I have to do different things, right? So it's going to feel weird. It's going to feel uncomfortable. I promise you, your paradigm is going to kick in, right? Your programming from the past is going to try to stop you from moving forward. It's designed to.
Yeah.
And you have to fight through what we call the terror barrier. And there's no shortcuts to this, guys. I made a habit of this. That's why we have 21 revenue streams. I don't really have a terror barrier anymore.
Yeah.
I'm so used to just recognizing that it's not me, it's my paradigm. Move forward anyway.
Yeah.
That I've made a habit of that, right? So, and that's what we teach is to push forward, fall forward. So, but there's no secret sauce. You have to make the decision. It's your life. It's not tomorrow, and it certainly is not a New Year's resolution. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. Let me wait 3 months to make a decision. We went live about that the other day. Again, that's what the masses do. New Year, people making New Year's resolutions in July. 7 months. So yeah, it's going to feel uncomfortable. But you do it anyway, And if you want the results of successful people, you got to do what we do.
So, Brian, you probably don't ever sleep or eat or leave the office then if you have 21 sources of income. People be afraid to do something new because they don't have the time. So how do you manage 21 sources of income? I mean, you don't sleep, you don't eat, right? Leave the office?
No, it's quite the opposite. You know what the funny thing is, Declan? I'm sure you're experiencing this as well. It gets easier and easier and easier, not harder and harder and harder.
Yeah.
And it's the polar opposite of what most people think. But because most people think it's hard, they don't move forward. In other words, if they're making 50,000 a year, they think it's twice as hard to make 100, and that's not true at all.
Yeah.
What you need to do is become more aware.
More aware.
I
Yeah.
started 3 revenue streams this last month, and one of them is turning over 60K a month additional as a part-time stream, and I don't do anything
Yeah.
except I set it up. But
Yeah.
I'm now in a circle of people that is very, very aware in crypto and revenue streams and forex automation. So because I'm more aware, I can do things that the masses don't have. So
And
it's polar opposite.
you've generated income as well that helps you to, you know, to leverage, and you're not fearless with investing and stuff like that. But you can't be there now until Brian Del Masso 2012, 2013 started the ball rolling.
Right.
Because
Exactly.
you didn't have a silver spoon. Like you had some setbacks along the way.
We've had a couple. Matter of fact, earlier this year, I took a $250,000 hit.
Ooh.
And I didn't even blink. The cool thing, I was like, my pulse didn't even raise. I was such a cool moment in my life. People look at that, they were horrified, right? But to me, it was such an amazing moment because it's just energy. It's just a game anyway. And it's people pay to go to college to make 60 grand. So if you want to be a billionaire, you're going to take some 6 and probably 7-figure hits. It's just the way it is.
Yep.
But the thing that I was most proud of is how calm, like I literally, my pulse didn't raise. My girl didn't even know until like a month or two later. I'm like, oh, and I used it as a teaching point, right? So in construction, I took a $500,000 hit, right? But that's how we got to 10. That's how we got to 10 million that year. So you got to get comfortable with that kind of stuff. I'm not saying set a goal to lose money, but it's like going to college, but it's big boy college.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and it has to have a starting point. I mean, we're delighted you joined us tonight, and when you're talking to somebody who says, "Look, I take advice from billionaires," I'm sure there's a lot of people right now on the call who's like, "Oh, I can't relate to Declan, I can't relate to Brian." Sure. But there was a Declan and a Brian that sat there first day and said, "SH1T's got to change around here. Like I've got to," and I think we attract a lot of people who are not in a desperate situation, people who are, they're reasonably comfortable and inspired to do something different and never kind of found somebody or found some material or some guidance or some way. And it's really cool that we get to have a mixture of people at all different ends of the spectrum. And I love that you're not kicking back and relaxing with 21 sources of income, that your goal is 21 billion in assets by the time you're 60, which is, at least 30 years away. And you're going to get there. You've no doubt in your mind. I've yet to see you not hit a goal, Brian. So apart from a holiday to Ireland, obviously. But I think you're just afraid to play golf. I think that's what it is. I think you're afraid to take me on.
I'm afraid to get my butt kicked by my Irish brother from another mother.
Yeah, well, all I do is just take you out.
You know what? It's my liver that's in fear. It's not me.
I'll just take you out the night before, and then I'll be fine the next day. But yeah,
one thing you said there though that I want to go back to, and I want to be really clear for when I got in front of this material, like I said, I was barely earning 100K a year. In America, that's not a lot. Not at my age. I mean, I had one revenue source. I just started, a second one. So it's very important to understand that. But I was like, at that age, I was like, there's got to be something more to this. So I was hungry for information. I was definitely looking. But very, very important to understand. My first goal was to take my construction company from $1 million to 10 million. It wasn't 21 billion, right? It was as big as I could think back then. And you've done this many times too. Yep. We start with our current environment and we say, what would stretch us? Well, that stretched the hell out of me. But it also made me become aware of what's possible, how to use the content. So many, many times now I've adjusted that goal over time. So I just want to make sure your readers don't think that, I was born a billionaire. It's very much the opposite of, very average, kind of a normal career. And I just wanted more. I had that desire,
I've got a question, if you don't mind, Brian.
Sure.
Why do you want to become a billionaire?
Well, number one, I already am, because everything starts in the energy state, not the physical state. So that's the first thing you guys got to understand is if you say you want, what you're telling yourself is you don't have.
Yeah.
Everything starts in thought energy, right? This iPhone I have in my hand, this was a thought in Steve Jobs' mind. So very, very important. It's the feeling of the wish fulfilled. So I'm already there. It's just the rest of you need to catch up. But the reason is to bring this information globally. There's two reasons. Number one, because you can, and it's just a game, and there's no such thing as big or small. But number two, people tend to pay attention to billionaires when they speak. And my bigger goal is to, like you, to carry the torch of what Bob's doing,
Yeah.
to connect with other global billionaires, to really set this thing on fire. We're on the verge of this thing really setting on fire.
Yeah.
And I mean over like the next, 1 to 10 years. This is not 100 years out anymore. When
Yeah.
Bob got in the game, he was one of very few people that understood this. So
Yeah.
that's the real reason, is to global philanthropy, is to
Yeah.
give back. From age 60 on, I just really want to be giving back. We give back now, but I'm really going to make a pivot and really
Yeah.
focus on philanthropy, helping people a lot of different ways, and just getting this information out to the masses.
There's a moment, Brian, I have a pretty good memory. I want to bring you back. We're very lucky to share a dinner with Bob when we're in Toronto, and we go to his favorite restaurant, the Octagon. So Bob said something. Bob actually said something twice. He said it the day before the dinner, and I was in a back garden in Brooklyn. Actually, no, in Yonkers in New York. There was a friend of ours at the time called Anthony, and I was at his house. We remember that guy, yeah? We were on a call, and Doug was there, and he was talking to you and I and a few others. And then Bob gets up and he was like, I have got a goal, and I'm going to work on this goal. And then Dalmasso pipes up and he was like, Bob, why is it that goal? Why is it not 100,000? Why 6,000? Why not 100,000? And he was like, you know what, Brian? I'm going to accept that idea. And the guy was buzzing. We got to Toronto. I drove all the way up from New York. It was a dream come true. Go to Niagara, the whole thing. Went in, had dinner with Bob. And on that evening, I really felt a shift change. I really felt the personal development industry change at that dinner, because Bob got up and he was emotional. He was so grateful for all the success he says, I'm 58 years banging my head off a brick wall, waiting for a group of people like you to come along. And he's an absolute trailblazer for decency, for honesty, for no nonsense. This is how it works, everybody. And what I love about what you said is it's a similar goal of mine. I just made the decision. I wanted to just tell people, this frees people, Brian. We've got a lady on our call here tonight, and last Tuesday evening, she said something in a group chat with our clients. She goes, I feel like I'm the real person for the first time in my life. It's like, extraordinary woman, like author, raised a family, so popular in the academy, and it just melted me to see those words. I've had example after example of that, especially Irish men, because we bottle it up and sure, I'm tough, we don't talk. And a guy one time, when I was a client of this material, he said, if it wasn't for Declan O'Donoghue, I wouldn't be here. But basically, I suggested he studied the program, and he'd lost like $25,000 that day in an accident. All of this a container fell off a ship, and it was full of his drop shipping business. All the supplies were gone. And he said he probably would have ended it all that day, over 25,000, if he hadn't been studying, thinking into results. So there's a real need for this out there. We're seeing our companies exploding, and people are just like, you've got to do this, because once you start freeing your mind, as the song goes, free your mind, the rest will follow. Was that in vogue back? Is that showing my age?
Yes. Yes. That's it, brother.
Before we let you go, my man, I want to read something to you, because this is really why I asked you on here. This is a passage from, I probably shouldn't tell you because you know the book, but anyway. The formless substance receives a picture. It's from The Science of Getting Rich, by the way. The formless substance receives a picture of your desires, and it allows this picture to penetrate great distances, perhaps throughout the entire universe. As this impression spreads, all things are set moving towards its realization. Every living thing, every inanimate thing, and the things that are yet uncreated are stirred towards bringing into being all that you want. All force beings are exerted in your direction. All things begin to move towards you. The mind of everybody everywhere is influenced towards doing the things that are necessary to fulfilling your desires, and it works for you unconsciously. Explain that.
This is a really good one, and actually, I want to present something to you on sort of the quantum physics scale, right? So it's been believed for years that there's energy and matter, two building blocks. Then we found out that there's just energy in different forms, right?
Yeah.
What I want to share with people here is that energy cannot move itself into form. In other words, this phone couldn't have gone from energy to phone without consciousness.
Yeah.
This is just the way the universe works. And in the beginning, there was just God and consciousness moving nothing into form, created the universe, right? So if it's the same for one thing, it's the same for all. So we have consciousness. Human beings, we can think about something, And if we hold that thought, right, consistently, repetitively, it has to move into form.
Mhm.
So I just want people to understand that energy doesn't move itself into form. We
Yeah.
move energy into form. God moves energy into form, but it's not inconsistent energy. And I want you guys to picture a light switch and a light bulb, because most people are flicking the switch up and down,
Mm.
but they want consistent light. They want their goal, but they're saying, yes, I can, no, I can't. What if I do? What if I don't? What if it works? What about COVID? And then the dominant thoughts become worry and fear and doubt, which is low vibration, right?
Yeah.
And it's so simple, most people miss it.
This is the thing. It's so, Bob's always saying it's so misunderstood, but it's happening all the time.
Now, the reason we miss it is we were never taught at age 3, 4, 5, 6 years old. We were taught ABC, so we understand that. We weren't taught this. So now you got, 30, 40, 50 years of paradigms and programming. Now we get introduced to a new idea. It's very foreign to us. And we have, 40 or 50 years of paradigms that go against this new thought. That's all it is, though. It's limiting beliefs given to you by other people over time. It's what we think is possible. But the
Yeah.
reality, the factual, universal truth is that anyone here can have whatever they want if they have the right blueprint and the right mentor, which you are arguably the right mentor and also a fun one.
Well, I like that. We what we do is very serious, but my God, we have a lot of fun along the way, and I think it helps. I remember talking to you about it. You were talking about my charisma and the stuff that I was doing at this. I do the MC at the consultant training. He said a spin his
Doug Dane impersonations are
I
priceless.
know, I know, but I do. I impersonated Bob to Bob. That was like, okay, I'm going to get sacked out of this company right now. There's a guy, and I actually got a video. Somebody recorded him and he took off his glasses and he wiped his tears of joy away. I'll have that forever.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good. But like, that was a fear. I was like, I was looking in the mirror up in my bedroom. I was like, are you really going to impersonate Bob? That's
Yep.
what you're about to do. And it breaks people up,
Yeah.
I was here one night. I was in this really heavy room in Tralee, County Kerry, not far from here, and everybody's getting a bit heavy. And I was like, I gotta wake this up a little bit, Like tonight, we started with this, Brian. Hang on a second.
Oh, yeah.
So we got the room going. It was heavy, the tension. I was like, I gotta get this room. It's my night too. I want to have fun. I'm never gonna have this night back again. So I started saying, okay, let's break this up. Let's get this gentle. Let's get into some nursery rhymes. I was like, that pineapple, Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. The pineapple Humpty Dumpty. And they're like, so he sat on the wall, and then he fell. And then I looked around. I was like, why are you being all weird looking? You're all whispering, and they're like, he's an egg. Excuse me, sorry, he's an egg. And I was like, really? And I goes, well, do you know that nowhere in the history of there was never any. It was a drawing. It was a book, and there was never a mention of an egg. But one illustrator, like 200 years later, drew an egg, and then they drew the shells and the people putting him back together again. And I was like, so they were like, they all were like, oh, and I was like, and you think I'm the stupid one? You think horses with hooves can put eggshells back together again? And I was like, look at the ideas you're locked into. Everybody in the room was like, you're weird, you're wrong. It's not a pineapple, it's an egg. And I'm like, yeah, and the king's horses and the king's men are gluing an egg back together. Nice one, but but it works. Like, it's that you can shop. Like Bob is a shouting guy. I like to make people laugh a little bit, and you can normalize this stuff. And that's why you said it's so simple. It's a light on, a light off. Oh, how come the room's not bright? Because you keep turning the switch off.
Right.
So we don't have to make this that difficult. And Brian, that's what I love about you is you've always made it very simple, very easy to understand. And I want to thank you for being a great inspiration to me and a great mentor of mine, a great friend. And you really helped me to understand this in a great way. And you've helped me to change a lot of lives, my man. So I want to say thank you to you and for your friendship and your willingness to come here tonight. And we'll be cheering you on as well, watching your journey. Is there anything you'd like to say to this people here in your home country of Ireland who want to really break? They want to break free. They want to get to the next.
Honestly, I mean, we can only help people that help themselves, right? A lot of times people magnify something like this. They really look at like, oh my God, but they think nothing of going to college and spending 50 or 100,000 or whatever it is. The way Bob would say this, and I don't know. If this is $100, would you do it? And people say, well, of course I will. Well, great. Just figure that out 100 times. Like, people magnify. And what I say to people, number one, I say, you and I both know I don't need your money, right? I have multiple streams. It's not about me trying to sell them and get money. But I said, if you can't figure this out and you want to do this is a red flag. What if you had your child or your spouse had a terminal illness and you needed 10K by the end of the week? Like if you can't figure this out, that is a red flag in itself. We need to work on that together. You
Yeah.
know, and at the end of the day, if you're 99 years old and you're plus or minus 10K, it's not going to break or make or save anybody. Just I think people magnify it, they get petrified, and they put their energy towards how they can instead of how they can. So my advice would be, if you have any thought that says why you can't do it, swipe it out and only focus on how you can, and you'll figure it out. It might be 10 different things. You might take a little loan, you might borrow some money, you might sell a few things, you might if you guys have a referral system, right? It could be 6 different ways where you solve this one challenge. And that's how entrepreneurs think. That's how Steve Jobs took $750 in a garage and created a $2 trillion company. They focus only on how they can and not how they can't.
Yeah, I was on a beach last week with Laura, who's like the rock in our company, and she said, "I'm going to give you." And I was like, "Okay, what do we need to do?" And she goes, "3 things." And I was like, I jumped off the rock. I was like, "Okay, let's do it." And she was like, "Do you not want to talk about it?" I was like, "No, let's just do that." It's like, let's just take the trajectory of the company in this direction. Yeah, let's do that. You know, think fast, act fast, because I don't know any other way. Imagine, I would just like get chills thinking that I have to sit down and discuss how things are done. No, just do it. So my good friend, it's been short and sweet, but I want to say that is, thanks, Brian. Thanks, Brian the billionaire. Brilliant sharing this evening. Isn't that nice? Let's get a guy a mug. Get the guy a Brian the billionaire mug.
Yeah.
Right, leave that with me. Leave that with me. Okay, I'm gonna get you that because Doug. Did you see the mug I got for Doug? Did he ever show you that one?
No, I haven't seen it.
It says Mr. Always Right, and he just loves. He loves bringing that on the meetings. Mr. Always Right. Yeah. Hey, man.
I love that. Love it. I love you too, brother. I miss you, and we definitely got to get everybody together. And anytime you want me to come on, as always, you've been a dear friend, an amazing colleague, and just an absolute student and great teacher of the content. So I love and appreciate you, and I love the work you're doing over there in the motherland.
Cheers, my friend. Well, look, we'll talk soon. Thanks again from the bottom of my heart. Wishing you and your family all the best, and we'll talk soon, Brian. So everybody, stay on a moment. We're going to leave that handsome devil go away and head back to his wonderful life. So everybody, I want to say thanks for your kind comments, and I hope you really enjoyed it. I mean, needless to say, of course you enjoyed it. What a lovely gentleman and a real authentic thought leader in this world. And you know, you hear a lot of people saying, "I just want to help people," and by God, he does, and he does. He really does. I learned something at my first consultant training. Brian was head and shoulders and streets above everyone there, and you know what I noticed? He was helping a lot of people. He was helping other consultants. He was helping Bob. He was helping, and givers get and givers gain. And we aim to do that. And I noticed last year, September, October, November, our beautiful team really endeavoring to try and to make that breakthrough and get over, you know, in rugby and in American football, they call it getting over the game line, just getting over. I mean, it took a while and we had to pass some persistence tests. But what I've seen is the graph just go like that since Christmas time. Why? Because they're giving. All I hear is, I'm getting so much help from your team. The guys just keep giving, and it just keeps growing because givers gain. And there's a law of that. There's a law of action versus reaction. You give out good. You think about how you want things to be. You decide on what you want to get, and you'll get it. But it has to start somewhere. So I want to say thanks to Brian for giving to us tonight. Okay, thanks to everybody for being here. Don't forget to do your homework. The prize tomorrow, I saw it way back there. It's €200 gift certificate. Is it for ourselves? Yeah, it's for using for any of our programs here in the Academy, I think it was. Please forgive me. As I said, we have experts that do what they do, and I don't have that there. Oh, Temple Bar. I see what you're talking about now. Okay, so it's there anyway. You all probably read the prize. Just do the homework anyway. Who needs a prize? Do the homework. It's going to change your life, for flip's sake. The prize is a bonus. Everybody, we're going to be talking tomorrow about absolute freedom and a brand new you on Friday. We're almost towards the end of our session. Let's see. We've got an important call tomorrow. Yes, that's it. It's 7 o'clock tomorrow. I'll be here, and I cannot wait to bring Susan Carey on. Oh my God, what a lovely group of people we've had. Susan is going to bring it on home. And then Friday evening, the bonus call is going to be myself, Elena Dusan, and Megan going through some Q&A. We got loads of questions for that you've been asking. We're going to answer those. Be here tomorrow. Remember, share the link for the competition as well. There's a competition out there where you can win a 6-month membership at the Academy. And just share it and invite people to our masterclass. We saw this happen at the end of last night. People are like, you know what? I love this. I want people in my Facebook page and my Twitter page and my Instagram page to get here. So it's not too late. They can binge watch the whole thing at the weekend. So let's go for it. Thanks everybody for being here. Somebody said thanks for an amazing night. You know what? I really enjoyed it as well. Somebody said really enjoyed it tonight. Light bulbs turning on. That's good. I really hope it does, and you're going to make use of it. Okay, because a lot of people get very fired up in this week, and I really want you to make this week the spark that lights a really big fire in your life, because I have changed things for generations to follow, God willing. That's the way it continues to go, and that could be you and your family too. So thanks everybody. Thanks to my team. Thanks to every one of you for being here, and I'll see you tomorrow night at 7 bells. Lots of love. Bye-bye.